Great to be here. I've been following your teachings about 4.5 years, and I believe I'm going to talk fast for the heck of it. And I believe I've assimilated the material very well, and it, of course, has changed my life greatly and positively. Great appreciation, great appreciation. Still have many questions. I feel like Jerry sometimes. Perhaps not fundamental questions, but more peripheral ones. Without me asking a question, are you able to read my vibration and determine what I most need to focus on? Or are the verbalizations and questions essential?
Not essential, but certainly helpful to most everyone else here.
Indeed.
We will say to you, as you've already said, it is clear to us as we feel your vibration that you're at the point of fine-tuning. It's clear that there is more in your vibrational escrow than you even realize is there. It's clear that you are a teacher to the very core of your being, and words are important to you.
Excellent. Major paradigm shifts in my life. Moved away from fundamentalism, right and wrong, into multi-perspectivism, relativism. Movement away from the use of empathy, interestingly, which has gotten me through most of my life. Embracing, moving towards a deep appreciation.
You could empathize with who you really are.
Getting there.
Beating the drum of source is an empathy that will serve you. Empathy of true love.
Yeah, it's brand new in essence to really connect with that larger self and do it, and then as a result, as you mentioned before, block people out. That's kind of odd, but less and less so, because that's not the right story to be telling. Embracing, moving forward to deeper appreciation of the evolutionary nature and unfolding of incremental change in quantum physics, vibration nature of all existence, embracing cultural and human institutions where I really had not, embracing personalities rather than pushing against them, movement towards thoughts creating reality, and ideally driven by the highest vibrational feelings. So I could now embrace culture and make a lot of money in a conventional fashion. I love learning and education, and while I find myself thinking and feeling that I could do that at my age, by the way, if there's any energy, stability entrepreneurs, sustainability entrepreneurs, or financial industry people, love to talk. A large part of me would love to generate my financial and material abundance, and spend my day. I mean, I'd really like to have a book downloaded to me and then spend many hours translating it onto paper, traveling the world, having fun, spreading these leading-edge concepts. You both are going international, so that's kind of interesting. Making a mint-size amount of wealth along the way would be fantastic. I'm not going to use but or ask how. I know better. What should be my next phrase or orientation towards this vision that I have?
It's done. It's done, and what might I say or practice saying that elicits from me the feeling of success of that achievement? How can I foster the feeling? How can I jump into the escrow? Because right now, as I'm expressing it, we appreciated the brevity. You wrote it down. You expressed it to us quickly and emotionlessly.
Yeah.
So what can I do to jump into my escrow so that these aren't just words?
Right. Right. I know.
So what's your...
I could do the visioning. I mean, it seems like I could amp up and do a rampage of appreciation of how much this seems to be an escrow over the course of, as I now appreciate, many lifetimes. And so it could be a non-emotional thing. But like I said, I have questions after questions. Jerry got to do 5,000 before he actually came in, if you know what I mean. And so it seems like there's a lot of them. And
Take us to a new place, then. Ask one.
All right. You explain meditation works so well because in the dropping of thought we drop resistance. Is most of our thought resistant in nature? Is thought that is occurring in higher emotional vibrations less resistant? True vibrational love is non-resistant, correct? So it's possible to reach total non-resistance in physical existence. What would the world be like with no resistance among any of us? In non-physical, there is no resistance, correct? Is one of the secrets of life the constant dropping of resistance?
You might want to take a breath between questions. You see,
I'm trying to be empathetic of everyone else in the room.
But you see, what you're demonstrating, this was really good. Because this is the way so many of you do, where you ask, and then 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 you ask, and you just hold yourself in step one, step one, step one, step one, step one, and step two, can't get a word in edgewise.
Right. Well done.
In other words, and because you can't be in the asking mode and the receiving mode at the same time. So.
Mm-hmm. So what should I be receiving right now? How can I balance that out more? I obviously ask plenty, we all have, many lifetimes. Is it just dropping the resistance?
What do you think of everything that you have conveyed to us here? What do you think is the big question that you're asking? A question that is inherent in every single thing that you said. What is the question?
How do I connect more with what I know to be the case, which is most of my resistance is outside this physical reality?
Well, your question, the big question that is radiating from you is resistant in nature. And the question is, why am I not there? Or how can I get there? Or what's missing? And what it really is a much too practical approach, a sort of clamoring for the answer instead of an acceptance that the answer is there, and in silence, as in meditation, there can be the receiving of the answer. And, it's interesting because when you ask, and then relax with a knowing that the answer will come. What happens is the universe finds a way to yield it to you. The reason we teach meditation is because it is easier to teach you to quiet your mind altogether than to find pure positive thought on all those subjects where you've practiced otherwise. So, yes, in answer to one of your questions, it is possible to be in physical form and be in a state of absolute allowance, in other words, resistance-free. That is, in fact, what a moment of appreciation is. What would happen if you achieved a state of only appreciation? Well, what would happen is you would then become a constant reaper or manifester of the stuff that your former life had put into vibrational escrow. But there would not be further expansion without contrast. Now, however, you can get so good at asking and allowing and asking and allowing that you open the gap and close it and open the gap and close it and open the gap and close it, that those watching you would not ever be able to discern anything other than confident, loving, secure, appreciative emotion from you. But you will always be able to distinguish the difference between what you have recently become and your in-the-moment ability to keep up with it. In other words, if you could immediately croak and move into the non-physical energy where we are, you would discover that as far as a physical perspective of where we are, it would be absolutely resistance-free. You don't even have the ability to measure the resistance of non-physical from your physical format. The fine-tuning is that fine. But we still have contrast, you see. And so, you who are exploring the more dramatic contrast are causing more dramatic expansion. And you will catch up with it as we have when you have your croaking experience. We like that disrespectful word because there is no death, so we try to disrespect it as much as we can. When you have that withdrawing from the physical experience and you reemerge into non-physical, you'll be up to speed with who you are. And the relief of the death experience is beyond verbal description. The suddenly coming into knowing of your value and shedding all at once all of your insecurities. It's worth croaking for. But we don't think you should have to croak in order to do that. And we want you to incrementally do that, you see. And so we want to emphasize with you, and you've been listening to us long enough that you know this, that your contrast has caused you to ask for a lot, and Source has been answering it. And every process that we offer is to cause you to focus in a way that will allow what you've been asking for. So the story that we would begin telling if we were standing in your physical shoes is this. We would say, I love asking questions, and I love feeling answers coming. Today, Jerry said to Esther, as they were playing about something, and Jerry said, did you know that before every solution comes a problem? And Esther said, ooh, it sort of makes it worth it, doesn't it? In other words, solutions feel so very good. Don't you love solutions? Jerry and Esther do. They like solutions so much that they create constant problems. And, well, we mean that in a good way, because without a willingness to expand and to recognize that there's something that you don't know, you couldn't come to know more. And the best story that we tell about that is the vacation that you plan. And you say, I'm at home and I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to eventually come back home. And then you look at it objectively and you say, wait a minute, I am home, and home is my final destination. Why go? I think I'll just check this vacation off my list. And so we want you to realize that there is a desire on your part to explore and expand vibrationally because, and here it is, it's a statement that we want you to hear. It's what you were born to know. Because the catching up with my vibrational expansion is the zest of life. In other words, you can't catch up with somebody else's expansion. You can only catch up with your own. There is no joy that exists outside of letting yourself physically become that which you have vibrationally already become. You see, there is no joy that exists anywhere in the universe that is other than coming into alignment with who you are. Alignment is what you're reaching for, you see. So, in all that you're asking, we think that there will be never-ending questions, and if you want to give us a stream of them, you are queued up with questions and we are queued up with answers. We could move through a list of 100 in a very short period of time. And why are you looking at them?
Old program, an old story.
It is very old story, because what they think about it has nothing to do. You're here. We're here.
Well, the one that
you have questions. We have answers. Let's go.
Off of what you just said there, the new question, the new story in a way, can it be embodied in one person? You and Jerry do a co-creation. I talked with someone earlier today. I was very familiar with...
We haven't heard any questions yet.
Okay. Can the asking and answering from a non-source perspective be embodied in one person in a very high vibrationally balanced way?
No, because you can't ask and receive the answer at the same time. It's two different moments in time. But you can ask in one moment, get yourself in alignment, and receive the answer in the next. But you can't do step 1 and step 3 at the same time. No one can. And that's what goes wrong with most of you, and that is really what's obvious here, because you are so full of the questions that you hardly take a beat to receive the answer. And the universe is so lined up to answer you. So if you could begin saying things such as, I've asked, and now I'm ready for the answers. And I'm enjoying the rhythm of a question, an answer, another question, an answer, another question, another answer, another question, another answer. And there are endless questions, and that's good, and there are endless answers, and that's good, and there are endless problems, and that's good, and there are endless solutions, and that's good, and all of it is joyful expansion. You would unclog this sort of blockage is too strong of word, but you are intellectual, and you like the articulation and the pondering of things. But when you ponder in the absence of an answer for a while, you get so used to the feeling of that non-answer that you train yourself into the familiarity of the vibration that doesn't allow the answer. Ooh, that was good. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why children learn so much faster than most adults. They're not polishing their questions.